Hi, I'm Angela, and I am a teacher. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching for 20 plus years, and I am also a self-published author of a book called Life is a Classroom, A Teacher's Journey. And I write about the stories of children growing up in low socioeconomic areas and what we, the teachers, see when they walk through our classrooms with adversity and trauma from their family lives, and what it's like to teach these young kids and what it's like to learn from them. They are our teachers just as much as we are theirs. So I'm very much an advocate for these students. But right now, today, I want to talk about being an advocate for teachers and what we do. Because as I mentioned in my last vlog, I talked about stories and how stories matter. And the story that we tell about either our students or our teachers really does make a huge difference. And when you're talking about a career in education, it's so important that that story gets told correctly. What we've been talking about right now in one of my book clubs that I belong to is a book called Onward, and it's by Elena Aguilar, and we're talking about how these stories matter and what story you tell matters. And if you think about organizations who tell stories about things such as, what does the general public say about immigration? Or what do the Democrats say about immigration? Or possibly the Republicans say about immigration? Or any organization? What do they say about things like that? What do they say about educators? What do they say about public education? What story you tell matters to advocating for teachers. What are we saying about our public education teachers? For those of you out there, possibly outside of education, who have these wonderful platforms such as social media or TV or podcasts, when you have the opportunity to talk about education and public education, what kind of stories are you telling about us? Are you undermining what we're doing in the classroom? Are you highlighting what is good? Highlighting the shifts, the major shifts that are happening? Because what we do as teachers matters so much. And in my book, I write a little bit about it. And I talk about that in regards to these kids who come from adverse family situations that come with all this trauma in their lives. Even if they don't, what really amazes me is that research shows that just one positive relationship in early childhood leads to significantly better outcomes and builds resiliency within a person's life that they carry with them throughout adulthood. This positive relationship could definitely be, and quite often is, a teacher. So, other than all the academics that we teach, look at the power that we have as a teacher. And so advocating for the teacher, I want you to know what's going on in the majority of public education classrooms across California, because I see it. I'm not just a teacher in my own classroom in my own district. I'm a teacher educator, and I have the opportunity to see what's going on all through the state of California. And being active on Twitter, I follow a lot of educators who are brilliant, innovative educators who are all doing these changes. And I want you to ask yourself, do you know what's really going on? I'm so passionate about how we teach now with the new Common Core state standards in public education. This is a new and exciting time for educators and students alike. There's been a major shift in education and the role of the teacher in the public education arena. But I feel such a strong desire to stand up and educate those of you outside of education who think that maybe we teach in this authoritative, discipline-led, lecture-filled day, focusing on the black and white, reading, writing, and arithmetic that maybe like a normal Rockwell painting might have portrayed. Our modern-day public education classroom is so far removed from that stigma. And I'm writing in response to many sources, educated people outside of education who think maybe they know what's happening inside the majority of our public education classrooms. They're misled and misunderstood sometimes. That story, that narrative, that organizational narrative, it might be a dysfunctional one that's misunderstood and not completely told. The majority of our teachers, our classrooms, and our curriculum is not what is portrayed as by these naysayers. And I feel the need to stand up for our educators. Do you know that our teaching is no longer teacher-led but student-led? Do you know what a facilitator of knowledge looks like in the role of a teacher? Do you know how teaching now requires us to differentiate instruction for each individual student? Do you know how good we are at this now? Do you know the high level of rigor we teach at and how we're able to reach every student, high academic achiever or low, English learner or not, all with the same rigor? Do you know the miracles we accomplish with our students because of the high caliber of teaching we deliver nowadays? Do you know what a 21st century classroom looks like? Do you know what intrinsic motivation, engagement, relevance, and purpose students walk away with now? Do you know that we teach global awareness, which prepares students for citizenship in society and the world? Do you know that we teach social justice, which creates civil and inclusive school communities where children are respected, valued, and welcome participants? Do you know what our child nutrition services are teaching our youth about how to eat a more plant-based diet? Do you know that it's no longer accepted for children to bring unhealthy snacks to school? Do you know that the backbone of reading, writing, math, and science standards we deliver in our instruction stems from listening and speaking skills that teaches our young children how to effectively communicate in this ever-changing global community? Did you know all that? If you didn't know what the majority of our classrooms look like nowadays, I invite you into the classrooms of my own district and the many up and down the state of California and around the nation. You'd be pleasantly surprised and would definitely stand corrected. And maybe then the nation would wake up and realize what teachers nowadays really do and how we deserve recognition of our professionalism, how we provide a positive contribution to our society and what we deserve as teachers. So please join me and advocate for the teacher.